Welcome to the instructions for the insane deck of cards. Thank you very much for purchasing these. We are just going to go through some basics of these and show you some tricks, some tips, and some ideas that will allow you to get started with this deck of cards straight away, amazing your friends, your family, whoever it is that you want to amaze. Let's get right into it. So when you purchase your insane deck and you take it out of the box, the first thing that you will notice is that it doesn't come exactly set up. It will come in this orientation like this. You will have about 26 cards that are all completely different, and then you will have another 26 cards which are all the same card. In this case, it is the 7 of clubs. All you need to do to set this up is to split the deck into the 7 of clubs and the different cards and alternate them. So put down one card that's different, another card that's the same, and go like this all the way through the deck, so that every second card is the same card and every second card is a completely different one. Once you get to the end, just make sure that the bottom card is a different card and not the 7 of clubs or the card that's all the same inside your deck. If it's not, all you need to do is just cut the deck anywhere you like at one of those and you will be ready to go. So your insane deck should now look like this, with every second card being the same card and every second card being completely different. This deck of cards uses a very clever principle in Magic called the long and short cards. The way it works is that if you go through the cards, you might notice that every card that is the same, in this case the 7 of clubs, is just a tiny bit shorter than all of the cards that are different. The best way to see this is actually just to look at the edges of the cards like this, right up at the top here, and you'll actually notice the slight difference. What this means is that if you flick through the cards like this, every single card that will drop will look like the 7 of clubs. But if you flip the cards around like this and you drop them like this, you can make it seem like every card is a completely different card. The reason this works is that obviously when you flick through them like this, the short cards get missed by your thumb as you riffle up the back of the pack like this, and it means that it only shows every second card depending on which way you flick through them. Once you play around with this deck for literally 5 minutes, you will understand the principle behind this, you'll see how it works, and you'll see a bunch of the different things you can do with it. For example, if you go through the cards like this and someone says stop, you will notice that every single time they say stop, this card will be the 7 of clubs. We'll try it again in a different place. It will always be the 7 of clubs. When you ask somebody to cut the pack like this, you will also always end up at the 7 of clubs, no matter where they cut. As long as they cut from end to end, not side to side like this, it will always be the 7 of clubs that they end up on. And another nice feature of this is that when you cut the pack like so, the card that is on top will always be the 7 of clubs. No matter where you cut, that card will always be that 7 of clubs.
Hey Elliot, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Good. I'm going to show you a trick using this normal deck of cards. I just want you to pop your finger out like this and just place it into the middle, just there. Yep. Have a look at the card for me, show the camera, and then place it back on top. Now, I want you to just do a little magical wave over the top. That was very magical. And you can see that your card, what was your card?
7 of clubs.
7 of clubs jumps all the way to the top.
No way!
Cards. Pretty good, isn't it?
Very good.
I'll place it on the bottom there like this. And the cool thing is, if we take the cards and just spread them out, every single card turns into your card, the 7 of clubs.
But they were all different a minute ago.
They were all different. Do you know why? We can actually change them back. So we take the 7, place it back to the top, give it a little tap. That's it, and you can see every single card.
Oh my gosh.
Changes back.
I would buy that.
Now for the explanation. You take the deck of cards, you get your spectator to place their finger into the middle. Now the way that you're riffling down like this means that every second card that they land on will be the 7 of clubs. So it doesn't matter where they say stop, it'll always be the 7 of clubs that they put their finger into. You get them to take the card out, show it around, making sure that you keep the cards in 2 halves like this, because you don't want the cards to get mixed up out of their order. They then place their card back into the exact position they took it from, and they go on top. Now you get them to do a little magical wave over the top, and then their card comes to the top. Obviously just with the order of the deck, that's the way that works. You can then take that card and place it on the bottom of the deck of cards, and if you flick them from back to front, you can show that every single card turns into their card. A more advanced way of doing this, if you have a surface, is to do the exact move, this, flicking, and drop them onto the table, just like this. And they will drop in pairs with the shorter card showing the 7 of clubs.
Now that you've learned how to use your insane magic deck of cards, you've learned some really invaluable skills with this pack of cards. One of my favourite things that you've learned is actually how to force the card. Because you force that 7 of clubs, they cut a pack, you dribble them, you riffle through, whatever, to force that 7 of clubs, you know this card well in advance. This means you can do a number of things to predict the card they've chosen, even though they can see all the cards are different. Some things you could do is you could read their mind, a bit like Cameron Gibson does. You go like this, oh, I think it was a black card, I think it was a club, I think you're thinking of the 7 of clubs. Boom, just like that, you're an instant mind reader. Or you could take one of the other 7 of clubs from the pack and hide it somewhere secret, maybe in your wallet, or in this case, under the table, or in your pocket, anywhere like that. Or my favorite use for it is to put it behind a sort of glass window or a door or anything like that. Just lick it a little bit, give it a lick, and it will stick straight to the door. Make sure no one sees you doing that. And then, whilst you've got the misdirection of having them take out a card, you can then throw this deck at the window and their card appears on the other side. People like David Blaine and Dynamo and David Copperfield and myself have all done this effect in the past. Of course, make sure to pick up those cards and make sure there's not a puddle or anything on the floor in front of you. Maybe do this effect inside and make sure you pick up all these cards and reset them straight after. There's so many amazing things you can do with this deck of cards. The deck also comes with 2 little instruction cards with about 8 effects on them, so feel free to have a look through those and combine those tricks together to make a nice routine. Thanks again for purchasing the insane deck of cards. I hope you enjoy it and you fool your friends and family and get a few free drinks, maybe school dinners out of it as well. Get some potato wedges, mate.